Green Bay Packers going into Kansas City. Now, I imagine this line has shifted quite a bit just today because we had some breaking news. Breaking news. Aaron Rodgers will not be playing in this game. I'll get that on a loop. We'll get that drop going one day.
We should. Yeah, that was really good.
Aaron Rodgers will be out Sunday because he got posted on the Rona list. This comes a week after, of course, his wide receiving core got decimated by the Rona as well. Devontae Adams may be back this week. Allen Lazard may be back this week. But Jordan Love is going to be the one throwing them the ball, which is kind of going to be a neat sight to see because we want to see what Jordan Love looks like because we pretty much all expected this to be Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay. I was thinking if we got a Jordan Love game, it would come like in week 17, week 18, but we got to see him with all the weapons out there, the first team out there. Can he play big in a big time game against a struggling Chiefs team? In fact, how much love should we give the Chiefs? I mean, Vegas giving them 7.5, even against Jordan Love and the Packers, I think is a little bit too much because we saw this team struggle on Monday night to beat the Giants. This team is not the same Chiefs team we thought it was coming into the year. They have not looked good against good teams. Obviously, losing like they did to the Titans, losing like they did to the Bills. They have not looked good against bad teams. They played down to their competition there as well. I am going to pick the Chiefs.
Yeah, me too.
Because the circumstances of facing a backup quarterback, having a Hall of Fame quarterback, and having a Hall of Fame head coach should mean you win this game. But by no means do I feel good about the Chiefs going into this one. Monday Night Football showed me, and I'm being honest on this one, the Chiefs aren't competing for a Super Bowl this year. They're just not.
I look clutching at my pearls right now. How dare you do this to the great Patrick Mahomes? How dare you disrespect him in that regard? I don't believe
3 to 4 teams in the AFC that all are competing for a championship.
No, you can't do this. You can't do this to my boy Mahomes. I refuse. I will cradle my jersey to protect myself on this one. I will not stand for this. The Kansas City Chiefs can still win a championship this season. It's not over yet, but at the same time, it has not been good for Kansas City at all.
I mean, the playoff picture is starting to look even poorly in their favor too, because they got a huge break with the Packers having to go in with the backup quarterback. Because if Aaron Rodgers was in this game with their defense that they put out on the field this entire season, there was no way in hell that they were winning this game.
Yeah, I think thinking the Raiders are going to make the playoffs over the Chiefs is probably a little weird because I feel like the Chiefs are going to win twice against the Raiders coming up here in the next month or so.
They'll split.
Nah, I don't think so.
There's no way that the Chiefs are beating the Raiders twice.
Oh, I disagree on that. I think they're just a better team. Even still, I know the defense is really bad. It's rough pickings out here. I know they held the Giants to 17. I would argue holding the Giants to 17 can be classified as a bad defensive game.
Just look at the Raiders' body of work. They have been playing good football. They've been playing good football offensively and defensively. I know they got a lot of exterior stories, but I think they still split with this Chiefs team. The Chiefs have not shown me anything throughout the season that makes me believe in the Chiefs of old. I don't want to get
averaging like 35 points a game for the first 5 games of the season.
No,
because
there was one game against the Eagles there where they blew them out, and the Eagles have been a bad team. The Chargers defense, there are holes in the Chargers defense that you can exploit, and the type of game that led into that. The Ravens defense has been bad throughout the year too. The Ravens have allowed multiple 400-yard passing games, so you can score on the Ravens. I guess probably their best game might actually be against the Browns, but they trailed by multiple touchdowns in that game, and the Browns should have beat them in week 1.
Yeah, they should have, for sure. Kansas City is in this group of teams that we don't know what to do with in the AFC. Like Baltimore and Buffalo, we know they're really good. And then after that, we're trying to figure the rest out from there. Like, we're pretty sure we know who the playoff teams are going to be. It's going to be the Titans as the 3 or the 4 seed. It's going to be the Chiefs. It's going to be the Chargers. It's going to be the Bengals, maybe. And then there's going to be a 7th token team in there. I'm not sure who it's going to be right now, but it could be, Cleveland. It could be the Raiders. It could be, not the Colts. Sorry, Colts fans. The Patriots, maybe. Like, we're trying to figure all of this out as we go along with the AFC. And I don't think it fares well for Kansas City that they don't have the wins at this point. Like, Kansas City's just gotten unlucky in some of these, like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble, of course, being the big one that I think of, where they would be 5-3 right now, and that's going to make things easier for Kansas City. But even still, I feel like they'll be good enough to make the playoffs. They can be beat any given week. They can be beat by Jordan Love, theoretically. I wouldn't go as far as to say the Chiefs are not playing for a Super Bowl this year. I think even if they believe they're playing for a Super Bowl and they're not good enough, they're at least trying to.
Oh, that's a different conversation. Mentally, I believe they do believe they're playing for a Super Bowl. I believe Patrick Mahomes in his heart of heart believes he's playing for a Super Bowl. I just don't think they have the horses to win it this year or compete for it this year. Ooh. It's hard for me to see them going against Buffalo or Baltimore. I mean, Tennessee, obviously, we'll get into what happened with Derrick Henry here in a little bit when we talk about them. I just haven't seen them really compete against these good teams in a way that makes me have faith in them. We'll see how they do against the Raiders next week. They do face the Raiders in week 10. So that will be a good barometer of how they stack up against playoff teams moving forward. But they've gotten very lucky scheduling wise that after these tough losses, there's always been an NFC East team, or there's now been a team with a backup quarterback. Because if they had to face another tough team coming off of their loss the previous weekend to Tennessee, they could have lost that one too. And then they're 2 games under 500. They just got some reprieve that they should have had a cakewalk game against the Giants, and they couldn't even capitalize there.
Yeah, it's a weird time. It's a weird time for Kansas City. Before we move to the next game, I would like to say with the Aaron Rodgers situation, isn't that kind of weird? Like Aaron Rodgers gets like Eastern medicine style vaccination and that doesn't get approved. And so he's backlogged some fines around that. I feel like
that so he's unvaccinated?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers applied for an exemption of a apparently something different than a vaccination. I don't know exactly what it was. I know Aaron Rodgers is super into like Eastern religion and Eastern medicine and stuff. So I don't know exactly what it was that Aaron Rodgers claimed was a separation from a vaccine, but Aaron Rodgers was very quietly unvaccinated and we didn't know about this. And now we find out in a way that is kind of weird because he's going to miss a game because of it. And I think we're all just kind of blindsided by the situation, but
doesn't it get worse too with unvaccinated players? I believe that they have a 10-day minimum that they have to be
that's
out.
Why he's already been ruled out at this point. Is that
so? Yeah, and this is happening here on a Wednesday. So in theory, that could keep him out till next Saturday.
I think I might be wrong, but I thought they had a bye week after it that's going to protect him from that.
Okay. No, they play Seattle next week, which I guess, hey, at least you're playing a Geno Smith-led Seahawks team at that point. So even if you have to roll out Jordan Love 2 weeks in a row, you have potential to get a win there. Hopefully you can even beat a team like a struggling Kansas City team, but
similar to what we had with the Cardinals, like the Packers are fine with or without Aaron Rodgers at this point. The only games that matter for the Packers are the 3 in January or 4 in January.
But they do want Lambeau. It's one of the more unique home field advantages that they have over every other team in the league. Certainly every other team in the NFC, that they could have Lambeau in January, where you have an Arizona team who's not used to those conditions. You have a Rams team that's certainly not used to those conditions. The Bucs are the only team that can go up there because you have Brady, who's played in those conditions for 20 plus years. You have a lot of teams that are unprepared for those circumstances if they have to play in Lambeau in January. So that's why you ideally want him out there. Unlike Kyler Murray, of course, they're not holding him back from anything aside from now he's barred from doing it by the NFL based off his decision to not get the vax, which, I mean, that's his call. You know, if he costs his team home field advantage, well, that's going to be one that Aaron Rodgers is just going to have to put on himself at that point.
Yeah, it's just weird from a leadership standpoint. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers cares about that anymore because he seems so unhappy in Green Bay right now. So I don't know whether he cares about the general sentiment of the Packers, but even still, like just from a leadership standpoint, kind of weird that we didn't know about it and that Aaron Rodgers is kind of fading at this point. But again, I don't know if that's what Aaron Rodgers prioritizes at this point.
I think that's just like Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers in terms of their mentalities about what they want out of this. I mean, Tom Brady, I think, was one of the first prominent athletes I know that got the vaccination because he was like, I don't care. This is all about winning for me.
Yeah. But even I'm reading listening to Seth Wickersham's book right now. And that last year in New England where Brady like had a worse completion percentage than Trubisky, in 2019 where they lost to the Titans. Similar type stuff was going on behind the scenes that we just didn't hear, where Brady literally is quoted saying like, what the bleep am I doing here, when he's getting ready to play that playoff game. And he just like, I think there was one receiver who like would mess up a route all the time, and he just didn't have the motivation to correct him on it like a coach would. He's like, what am I doing? I don't have the motivation. I don't have the love here. I feel 1 foot out the door already. And I feel like a lot of that's probably happening to Rodgers, because he's already, he is probably 1.5 feet already out the door in Green Bay at this point, but also has a pretty good team.